hello. Hello. How's everyone's day going? Happy hump day, happy hump day. Yo. Good morning, Chella. How's your day going? How's your morning going? We got a tri-tip. It's pretty simple. What we got cut up today, we're gonna start with some tri-tip. We got some flat for some carne asada and rump roasts. Some knuckle for sirloin tip. And strip loin for New York and a little bit of pork. So this roast is gonna be for pork, or not roast, but for pork. This roast is just gonna stay a roast. We're gonna do about 2 roasts for tri-tip and 2 roasts for steaks. So we're just gonna kind of trim up, make this roast look a little bit prettier right on the top side of this. I like to cut off the side right here just because it's super ugly, does not look appealing. And boom, that's a nice looking tri-tip roast right there. This one we're gonna go ahead and use for some steaks. This thing's massive. Like, look at this thing, it's massive. Good for steaks. Got a little bit of discoloration right here from the bag. This means when the cryovac seal was sucking all that air out, that meat right here kind of got in between that bag, and the air kind of just sucked that moisture out of the meat. So it kind of changes the color a little bit. So I like to trim it off and put it in my trim bucket. Everything you see me putting down here goes into here. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? It's going into my trim bucket. Got a little bit of meat in there from yesterday. And then anytime you see me come back here, it's in trash, and that's just fat connective tissue that I do not need. So in a way, I'm also live over on the YouTube app. Just in case TikTok disappears, make sure to go over and subscribe on there, because I do share a lot of content over there as well. Will be my new place to go live if TikTok disappears. So if you like watching me go live, it's gonna be the place to find me. Big John, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Again, once we pretty much get this all nice and trimmed up, set it right on off to the side. NPR, thanks for the follow. The Barcoa plug, thanks for the follow. Barbacoa plug, thanks for the follow. There's another one that's going to be for a roast. I like using these smaller ones for roasts. $8.99 a pound. So you get these big boys in there, and people kind of try to pick around them for the smaller ones. So I just kind of put the smaller ones out for roasts and the bigger ones for steaks. Seems to always work. Roast, we can leave a little bit more of the silver skin on and this fat because it's for a roast. Fat is flavor. It also helps tenderize the meat with the moisture that seeps out of it into the meat. Anything that's just kind of hanging there or too thick, we do take off. Now this guy knows how he likes his meat. Yes. I know how to prep my meat as well. What is that? This is tri-tip. Where am I from? I'm from Boise, but I live in the Twin Falls area. By from, I mean I was born in Boise. Spent a very small portion of my life there. Grew up in Nevada. But I'm located I live in Twin Falls, but I work in the Filer area. Favorite steak would be ribeye. It's the best steak you can get off of a cow. There are people that do Team New York and Team ribeye. If you say Team New York, just say you don't like your fat on the steaks. Just say you like a tough steak. New York are tender, yes, but you're getting a step down, not a step up with the New York. If your reasoning is fat, just don't eat the fat. I butchered half cows. You were just cleaning butchered meat. Hey, if you want to come in here and just say I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, you can go ahead and get the fuck out, or I can block you. Without me, without this job, no one's going into a grocery store and buying steak. Without people who do this, no one's eating meat without having to go and buy a half cow or quarter cow. Like, come on. Why is every meat guy slapping me like that? Actually, you can scroll through TikTok and find people who cut meat and no one slaps their meat like I slap my meat. So. And that's a fact. Hello from Mississippi. How's it going? MISSISSIPPI. So again, I said we're going to do 2 of these into roasts. This is a steak one. These 2 we'll use for roasts. First and third one. It's a nice looking roast right there. Look at that tri-tip. I hope this filter that I'm using over here on TikTok kind of helps the meat look better. Kind of help y'all see the meat a little bit better. I think it does. From Louisville, Kentucky? What's up? Central Coast, California, barbecue smoky tri-tip. Yum. Yes, I hear you guys down in over in the California area really like the tri-tip. But I hear the more east we go across the United States, the more that people don't really know about tri-tips unless you get down to like Texas, maybe Arizona, but I want to say like over in like the New York area, there isn't really too much tri-tips from what I'm understanding. Need a USDA filter, right? Louisville, Kentucky too? Well, hell yeah. Sam Stewart, thanks for the follow. From New Mexico. I need to go down to Mexico. I know New Mexico isn't Mexico, but how's the weather down there? Lockhart, Texas, barbecue capital. Let's go. Sam Stewart with the 2025. Thanks for the gift. And the heart meat. Oh, thank you so much. Do you have the California style beef? I heard it's fire. What do you mean the California style beef? I've never heard of that. So a lot of people cut their tri-tip wrong from my understanding. They'll buy it here in the grocery store. They'll go home. They'll cook it. Sorry, YouTube. Didn't realize I was that far down. And then when they cut it into steaks, they say it's super tough, so it's hard for people to really want to come in and buy tri-tip. And I just always let them know that you're probably cutting it the wrong way. The grain runs sideways, slanted throughout this meat, so you're not going to cut it straight up and down. You want to cut it at an angle. How much do I make? Not enough, which it's a good wage, especially if kind of for Idaho, but being a single dad, definitely don't make enough. From Wisconsin. Tri-tip makes a good carne asada. I could see that. I'm not going to thin slice my tri-tip to make carne asada meat, but I can see it making some decent good taco meat, if I'm being honest. Carne asada isn't really specifically one cut. I consider it this thin cut meat that you can use for tacos. That's what I consider carne asada. You can cut carne as long as you're cutting it thin sliced and it's super good and tender. Hey, carne asada, bro. Is this a good job? I do like it. You know, it pays decent when you're up in the management / the second in the shop, or if you own your own. I do about 4 steaks in these family packs, just like this. I'll show y'all in just a second. Just like that. 4 steaks in a family pack. It's tri-tip. $8.99 a pound this week for a roast or family pack of steaks. And then if you want a small package, which has just a couple of these small pieces of steaks, it's $9.49 a pound. It's a pretty good deal for tri-tip if I don't say so myself. Are they pumped with air, water to make them bigger? Nope. That is all a myth. Pay attention, don't cut your finger off. Never, 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 never. Super professional back here, always paying attention. Unless I'm goofing off, right? Cheryl Cooper, thanks for the follow. Sirloin, we'll be getting that right to that in just a second. Some peeled knuckles, sirloin tip. Got to put these up in some small packages real quick. Actually, small packages are full, so I'll go ahead and make a big family pack package with all these little steaks. You know, that could kind of come in handy. You know, you could do some shish kebabs with these. You could skewer them. These are going to cook a little bit faster too than small steaks, or the bigger steaks, sorry. So go ahead and just fill this package with all these small tri-tip. This one will probably sell first if I'm being honest, I guarantee it. Do 1 package family pack. All small steaks. What cut is that? That was tri-tip. That was a good slap. This is our peeled knuckle, aka our sirloin tip. I make a prime rib for New Year's. Came out good. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Prime rib is the best, easily the best rib. Not rib, roast to do for like big parties, you know, for holidays, family get-togethers. If you're just trying to have a barbecue, usually like tri-tip, picanha cat, brisket. You know, there's other roasts, other steaks you can do. If you're trying to do a big old family dinner for the holidays, rib roast is the way to go. Breakfast steak with the silver side. Yes. Now, people are going to be confused what I mean by silver side. I'll get to that in just a second after we get this meat trimmed up. But this is a good steak for breakfast and eggs. It's usually cheap enough, and you can get it. It's usually not thick, super thick cut either, so it's good to just quick pan sear. You're trying to make some steak and eggs for breakfast. Usually if you go out to a restaurant and you order steak and eggs, it's either sirloin tip steak or it's top sirloin. Both good steaks. Top sirloin's going to be better, but if you're just trying to get some steak and eggs, nothing too expensive, sirloin tip, top sirloin, the way to go. Where am I located? The store's located in Filer, Idaho, the only store here. So if you're in the Twin Falls area and you ever need some meat, make sure to stop on by here. Least favorite cut of steak for me to trim up would be chuck tender. Those things are just so ugly and so just annoying to trim up. Least favorite steak to eat, eye round. That thing's shoe leather. If you're buying eye round, you're either going to be doing cube steaks with it, stew meating it, or you're going to be thin slicing it to make some jerky. Don't ever buy eye round steaks expecting to have a good barbecue, invite some friends over to grill up some steaks that are eye round, because I guarantee you, your friends might not ever come back over for a barbecue again. Did an angry garlic rosemary paste. Oh, anchovy, sorry, I can't read. Did an anchovy, garlic, rosemary paste, salt, and pepper. Slow cooked it in the oven for 5.5 hours. Hell yeah. Other than the anchovy part, but. That thing looks so good. This is a pretty pretty nice big size piece of meat. I'm just gonna come up and take off this little bit of connective tissue and silver skin that's just kind of hanging out over here, and then I'll kind of explain what the silver side is. This is not normally a knife that I normally use. My knife that I usually use, my blue handled one, needs it sharpened, and keep forgetting to go and find a place to get it sharpened. So here I am using one of my newer knives that I got given to me. So all right, so once we got this all nice and trimmed down, we're gonna go ahead and split this right in half. That's how I was trained to do this. Hold on, there's one more spot right here I'm gonna take off. So we're gonna split it right down this middle, basically following the seam right here. Just gonna follow it right down. And now, as you can see, we get two sides of this. This side has all this silver skin on it. So this is the sirloin tip silver side normally. And this side is just normally your sirloin tip steaks. I think the sirloin tip steaks look better, but there's some people who do prefer the silver side. I don't call them the silver side. When I worked for Ridley's, we had sirloin tip and sirloin tip silver side codes. I just call it all sirloin tip. Doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? Normally, if you're going for a sirloin tip silver side steak, you know what you're looking for. These steaks do look dramatically different from each other. And I'll show you all what I mean by that in just a second. Sorry. I'll take it all. Diana, thanks for the follow. What's my favorite cheap steak? Cheap steak, ooh, I'd probably say, we're going through, what's cheap? What are we considering cheap? Give me a price range for cheap. What's cheap? What's considered cheap for y'all? A little bit of fat in mine. New York strip is not cheap. Right now it is. I have strip steak on sale for $8.99 a pound this week. Select what? Cheap, I would consider like under the $7 range, $7.59 range. If I'm going for that, I'm gonna go chuck steak. If you're gonna give me about $9 a pound, I'm gonna go top sirloin. That's what I'm gonna do for my cheap steaks. Eye of round, you don't even buy eye of round. If you're gonna grill up a steak for your wife, for your friends, do not buy eye of round steak. I'm saving you from embarrassing yourself. It's not gonna be tender, I promise you. Hanger steaks, I've never had a hanger steak. We don't have those here in Idaho. This is awesome. As someone who never learned how to cook, I wish I lived near your store, but I'm in New York. Oh, well, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Again, anyone who doesn't know, I'm also live over on YouTube. Just in case this app disappears, the TikTok app, you'll be able to find me over on the red play button app. And will be going live over there still every week. So this is our sirloin tip regular sirloin tip steak. As you can see, I like how this one looks. I think it looks more appealing to me. And then we have this one. This is the silver side. And it kind of looks a little bit different. The farther you go down, it gets a little bit slimmer and longer instead of thicker, smaller and thicker. Silver side, regular. I like this one better. What's everyone else's opinion on it? Would you take the regular one, or would you take the silver side one? Regular. That's what I thought. I think the regular one looks better too. You know, I guess for like pan searing, the silver side, if you cut it a little bit thinner, I feel like this one would probably cook a little bit better on a pan. But if you're buying these to like cook on the barbecue, I feel like the The regular one is the steak to go with. Is this choice or prime? This is choice, CAB, certified Angus beef. So it's the top of the choice spectrum. We're right underneath prime with this. In the middle of the choice, all the way up to the right underneath prime. That's what we're dealing with. These ones also have some pretty good marbling too, I think, in them. For choice, this is pretty good marbling. You're gonna need a lot more marbling to consider that prime. I have these on sale for $6.49. No, $6.69 a pound, I believe, this week. So I like to put there's 2 big steaks in a package together. A nice little family pack package like that. What do I do with all the extra pieces? It goes in my trim bucket. It's a little bit extra meat in here because I cut up a chuck roll yesterday. But all my trim goes into here. And I'll make ground beef with it if I need to make ground beef with it at the end of the day. And then anything that I don't need, you know, like bone, connective tissue, silver skin, all that gets thrown away. Nice little 3-piece right here. We don't sell brisket here. If I were to bring in a brisket, I have to order like a 60, 80 pound box of brisket. And that's just, and the brisket's just too big of a piece of meat for people in this area to want to buy, for me to be able to sell, you know what I mean? So I generally don't order brisket in. If I had someone who wanted at least a half a box, like if I would, hey, you know, I'll buy 50 pounds, 40 pounds of brisket from you, I bring a box in. But it's not profitable for me to bring in a box of brisket. Zari, James Smith, Jess, thanks for the follow. Got a nice itty bitty steak here. Trying to find another itty bitty steak to put with that one into a small package. Grab another one right here though. We got 2 sirloin tip steaks, or roast to cut. It's sent from another state. All of our freight comes from Salt Lake AFS warehouse. It's like right outside the Salt Lake area. As for where the meat comes from, I'm not quite too sure, but this all is United States meat. So at least I do know that. Nicole Armstrong, thanks for the follow. Who trained me to slap meat like that? I've got 28 years of experience to slap meat. I haven't had anyone teach me how to slap meat, all right? Anthony, thanks for the follow. Fulton White, thanks for the follow. So I like to kind of just start right here in the first place and take out this little connective spot. This is a nice little protective layer right here where a bone was laying against it. So it's like nice and smooth for the bone to just kind of just glide against. It does not taste good. I could grind it down and you probably wouldn't be able to taste it, but why put something in the trim bucket that's not going to taste good? Even though it might just get ground down, you won't be able to take it. But to me, I know it's there. I'm not going to put it in there to get ground down. This is another knuckle. I subscribe. Lady Cindy, thanks for the subscribe. Sirloin tip steaks, aka knuckle, correct. Peeled knuckle into sirloin tip steaks. We got this little thin layer of meat just right on top of the silver skin. I like to just pull that out because the silver skin is very ugly right over here on this side normally. Just looks unappealing, you know what I mean? Just got to take that out just a little bit. trying to stay right underneath that silver skin layer to where we're not getting into the meat. If it's just hanging, you gotta take it off. That's what I was told. If you think it looks ugly, customer's gonna think it looks ugly. And if the customer thinks it looks ugly, they ain't gonna buy it. That's how I was trained. I had a couple different people that trained me. The first one was where I started. He's the one who basically taught me how to cut meat. And then when I moved back here to Idaho and was working under the manager that I was working with, she kind of had a couple different things to do to show me. But it's also regional based too. It's cutting from, if you lived in New York and you were cutting a specific way probably that you would there, probably couldn't sell the steaks here. You'd have more people being picky about it, probably complaining about something. And same with Nevada. You know, you have people in Nevada who don't care about the fat. They know that fat is flavor, and specifically in Winnemucca, it's a small little mining town, so a lot of people there are miners, and they do have a little bit of money. So they don't mind spending that extra $1 or $2 for the fat, because they know that that fat is flavor and is going to help keep that meat nice and moist. But here in Idaho, I have people that are constantly, and I mean constantly, complaining about fat. Texture of the fat. So it also just depends on what piece of meat you're cooking, because ribeye fat, New York fat, that's just like a melt in your mouth type. Like that is just a soup. That shit's it's delicious. But then you get your top sirloin fat, or you have this little bit of fat that's on here. If you were to cook that, it's not going to be that melt in your mouth type of butter fat. It's going to be that chewy, kind of chewy stuff. So it also does depend on what cut of meat you are cooking and eating. Mandy, Kel, 640, thanks for the follow. But yeah, it just depends on where you're at, you know, because the more, which way do I want to go? The more north, if we're gonna go north towards Sun Valley, people in Sun Valley have money. They're not going to really care about the fat, I'm sure. They know what a good steak is. They know ribeye has some fat on it. They're not going to care about it. I could probably do an 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch steak up in Sun Valley. Here, it's about 3/4 to 1 inch steak for ribeye in New York. It just gets too pricey for them. I like some fat. Pork belly is good though. Yeah, so pork is also a little bit different because it's that fat just kind of stays the same consistency throughout the whole pig. The cow fat's just, some of it's thinner, some of it's thicker, some of it's slimier, some of it's just a little bit different. But fat on pork, you kind of need that fat no matter what. If you get a pork chop and it has no fat nor marbling, drier than it's just dry, right? Drier than the Sahara Desert, okay? I don't want to offend anyone, so I'm not going to say the joke that I was going to say. What am I cutting? Hey, okay, I'm all for the Trump. I'm all for Trump shocked quality, all right? But we ain't going to be spamming in here, dude. What am I cutting? This is our peeled knuckle down in some sirloin tip steaks. I'm kind of just taking this end out right down here. There's like this little nerve tendon thing down here. Super hard, easier to cut out when you cut it in half, but this gives me a little bit more time to stay alive if I do it this way, so. Rudy, thanks for the follow. Justine, thanks for the follow. Yeah, you know, if we could just stay away from the politics, you know, TikTok's going to be probably maybe getting banned in a couple of days in the United States. I'd rather prefer my last couple lives not just being a bunch of political spam stuff. I'd rather just enjoy it, hang out with y'all, and teach y'all some stuff and slap my meat. Garrett, thanks for the rose. Really appreciate that. Also, for anyone who doesn't know, I now officially have an 8-year-old. My daughter turns 8 today. Feel a little bad that I don't get to take her out to a dinner. Her mom had to have an expensive birthday party, so I spent all my money on a birthday party, but my daughter is 8 now. Katie, thanks for the follow. I have an 8-year-old. I have officially an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. Shit's crazy. How long have I been doing this? About 7 years. Since I was 21. But about a year and some months, I was over at Chef's Store. And that's not meat cutting, so. Now that's a pretty decent marbled steak right there. Look at that. That's some good marbling. If you are Boro, thanks for the follow. Uncle Dolt, thanks for the follow. Kim, thanks for the follow. Brady, thanks for the follow. Don't try to sell me a round tip. I'll try to sell you what other piece of meat you want, huh? I got a special meat for you. How much would you pay for it? Might have to go to Nevada. It's not really okay to sell here in Idaho, but we could go down to Nevada and I could sell you a pretty special piece of meat if you'd like. My interest is really peaked in this. It says you got a guy handling his meat, slapping it all. Sam, thanks for the follow. Sammy, thanks for the follow. This is awesome. As someone who, okay, I already read that one. I've subscribed. Thank you. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm also live over on the Red Play app, which is YouTube. So if this TikTok app disappears, make sure you subscribe over to the YouTube. Because I'll be going live over there. If a TikTok disappears, I'll be going live over on YouTube, and I'll still be posting shorts and all my videos over there as well. 1v1 on Fortnite. Message me on my Instagram. I'll 1v1 you later. Gonna get boxed. Full piece. 200 pump. I'm gonna box you. I'm new here. Well, thanks for tuning in. So I know it's undernourished, but it's not long enough. Here, I think it's more of a company policy, but a lot of the companies that I've worked for, if it's under a certain length, you don't have to have a beard net. And if you don't believe me, whatever company Fred Meyer is, that is literally their rules. I don't have to wear a hair net because I had a hat on. I didn't have to wear a beard net because this wasn't long enough. Their words, not mine. So now, if I was getting complaints like once a week, twice a week that there's hair in the food, I would buy a beard net. But I've been here for over a year and I haven't had one complaint about hair in the meat. So I'm pretty observant and I'm pretty well groomed. So Heathery, thanks for the share. Kenji, thanks for the follow. What kind of steak am I cutting up right now? This is our sirloin tip silver side off of our peel knuckle. And then I'm going to go into our flat and we're going to do some carne asada out of that and some rump roasts. Where do I cut so I know not to get meat there? Well, I could just block you too. Like, if you don't really care about it, by all means. I don't even cut over my table, so. The only time I'm over my table is when I'm up here looking at y'all. What's your take on prime rib? Prime rib is super expensive, prime-wise in a ribeye, but it's ribeye. I'm all for ribeye. Ribeye is my favorite. Bridget, thanks for the follow. What safety protocols do we follow? Whatever the company follows. I don't know. All I know is every time a health inspector comes in, I pass with flying colors. I think the one thing that she just had to mark me for something, like she had to. Like she had to come in, she couldn't give me a perfect score. So she went out to my counter and she found that there was a tray that needed a little bit of cleaning. So she marked me for a tray. Oh, and my squeegee was on the floor because of my helper, my other helper that got fired. So I had a squeegee on the floor that wasn't 6 inches off the ground, and I had a dirty tray out on my counter. It's the only thing I got marked down for. And I've also asked them about the beard net, and you want to know what they said about the beard net? If it's under a certain length, you don't need a beard net. Sorry, I'm not slapping my meat there. Let's slap my meat. God, I love the ignorant people in the chat. They think they just know everything. It's like I've been doing this for 7 years. And this is raw food. Raw food has a little bit different standards than cooked food. Because you want to know why? Because raw food still needs to be cooked. You're not taking this in and you're not doing that. But if you go to make dicks and you get a piece of food, 9 times out of 10, you get that bag, you're reaching in there and fries. Yes, fries. Cooked food, raw food. A little bit different standards, okay? Okay. Best roast for the crock pot. Ooh, chuck roast is really good for some pulled beef. For some shredded beef, sorry. You can also do what's another one? Tri-tip would be a good one too, but I like my tri-tip out on the barbecue. Chuck is probably the best one. It's going to be your best outcome with that shredded beef. But you can I don't do too much beef in the crock pot actually. I do deer roast in the crock pot. What's the temp in here? It's cold in here. It's cold. I'll go double check it right now, but it is. It's 40 degrees in here right now. Do you know what a 7-bone roast is? Well, yeah, it's a whole ribeye. It's a whole ribeye. There's 7 bones on a whole ribeye. Come on. How do I like my steak cooked? Medium rare. I'll even take it a little rare. Oh, 7-bone chuck roast, not ribeye. Okay, yeah. I know what a 7-bone chuck roll is. Sorry. We don't actually deal with them that much. Since I first started in the meat department 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Shit, I've been cutting for 6 years. Sorry. 7 years ago when I got into the meat department, we did have 7-bone chuck roasts, but it's like the whole chest of the cow basically. So they have to leave a bunch of meats that they can break down into other meats to charge more. But since it's the whole chest piece basically, they leave it at like a $2 to $3 a pound for us to bring it in, and then we sell the 7-bone chuck roasts or steaks or however you want to break it down, like $5 or $6. So from the slaughter standpoint to the distribution point, 7-bone chuck roasts lose the seller's money. So they haven't really. I haven't seen a 7-bone chuck roast in 7 years. So look at this thing. Kind of looks like a brisket. It is not a brisket. Kind of looks like one though, right? Not a brisket. You cook this like a brisket, you're gonna be very disappointed. I promise you. They don't make them anymore. That's what I figured. They probably were just losing too much money on them. It's kind of like what's another one? what is it? There's another. Maybe it was just that one that I was thinking of. But yeah, no, it's a lot. There's like 3, 4, 5 pieces of meat up in there that they break down into these smaller primals that they can charge more a pound for. But since they leave a hole in that 120-pound piece of meat, you're not gonna charge someone $5 or $6 a pound for 120 pounds of meat. So they got to cut it down to way cheap. Yeah, it was a really good cut for open wood flame cooking. I remember buying it one time. I bought a steak because it was big as fuck, and I was gonna barbecue it up for some friends that were gonna come over because it was a big, thick steak. Like a steak like this big, this wide, that thick. Got it for like, it was like $25, 20 bucks. And was gonna have some friends over. We ended up having them over, but one of them showed up with a bunch of pizza. And then we started drinking. And then the pizza ended up covering the roast, or the steak. And then it sat in the fridge for 3 or 4 days. I was like, oh fuck, we need to throw this pizza away. And then I take the pizza off, and then there's a steak there that now is bad. And I'm just like, oh my God, I forgot about my meat. Tom and Jerry steak? I've never. Oh yeah, I think is that what they call them over in like New York or something? All right, so I'm gonna be doing this piece for some carne asada, a couple roasts. Because I'm gonna be doing carne asada out of this, a lot of the fat on the bottom I'm gonna kind of trim up. A lot of y'all get mad at me for doing that, but it's for carne asada. You don't need a big old thick piece on the end of your steak of just fat. That's not going to do anything for the steak. Never forget, your meat has always been there for you. Exactly. Big Papa! Thanks for the rose. I kind of like to take my smaller knife and just take off this top layer of connective tissue. This makes it a little bit easier. Also gives me a little bit more time with y'all. It's easy to just kind of go through, make sure I'm not gonna get too far down with my bigger knife when I do start to trim all this out with one nice big sweep. Carne asada. What part was that? Did I say what part of the cow? Oh my God, Mark Harrelson, a hat and mustache. Well, thank you, partner. I was looking down so I wasn't gonna cut off my fingers. But what part of the cow is this flat from? I need to start doing a little bit more research on this shit. Flat, top round, bottom round, eye round. I want to say it's down by the legs. Nick Max Grandma. Thanks for the rose. Yes, this is a bottom round. Top round, the bottom round, and the eye round all connect into one piece. And I want to say it's down here in the leg area. Because the chest area, we have all the chuck. Do I need to come to you to buy? I'd appreciate that. Yoshi! Thanks for the 2 roses. Keep this up, I might be able to take my daughter out for some dinner. Yoshi with the 4 roses. Hip, that's what I thought. Down in that area. When you're being trained how to cut meat, they don't really show you the spot. Especially the guy who trained me, he kind of trained me way quick. He wasn't really more explaining the whole thing. He just showed me he needed a meat cutter. He didn't need explain the whole diaphragm of a cow. He just knew that I just needed to know how to cut something, get all this nice and trimmed up, and that's all I needed to know. So now when I do need to figure that shit out, it's just more of me watching videos and doing my research. What is my name on YouTube? Tristan the Meat Man. Link should be up in my TikTok profile on my link tree. But if not, Tristan the Meat Man. Same on pretty much all my profiles other than Twitch. Twitch, it's Hanyon44. Because I don't really do too much meat cutting. I haven't actually cut any meat on Twitch before. But hey, maybe if TikTok disappears, maybe I'll go live on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Maybe that's all I'll do it. Appreciate it, boss. I appreciate the follow. Happy go lucky. I appreciate the follow. So like I said, we're going to be kind of using this for some carne asada. I'm just kind of taking off all this fat that's right here on the top. Kind of just sticks out right here. And then a little bit of color change right here. And then we got to flip it over. And this is where I'm going to probably get yelled at by a little bit of you. So, I like to trim up this fat off this bottom end. Leave it on for the roasts. But when I'm cutting carne asada, on the stomach towards the back legs. Gotcha, 10 forward. You don't need this big old thick piece of fat on the very edge of your steak. It just kind of looks appealing. You have meat and then just this bottom piece, just this thick layer of fat. Like, what is that fat actually going to do when it's on the grill? It's laying not on the meat. It can't fall onto the meat. It's just dripping onto the flames or the grill. So, at least for the flat, taking this part off is a little bit what you need to do. Now, if you're gonna do chuck roll, which actually does really, really good thin sliced carne asada, chuck roll, you don't have to worry about this. All your fat's in that marbling. Not gonna have a big old spot of fat on the belly of it. People try to say that I use this cut wrong, but if I was using it wrong, why does my carne asada fly out of my counter? People seem to like it. I know my ex-mother-in-law liked when I'd bring this home for carne asada over Claude. She'd go to the Mexican store where they do all the. It was a Mexican restaurant. I had a Mexican meat shop in the back, and whenever they would do thin sliced meat for carne asada, they were thin slicing shoulder clod. I hated it. I hated when she'd have me go and grab it from there. But when I started bringing this home, or thin sliced chuck, she said that she no longer wanted me to go and pick it up from there. She wanted me to bring home carne asada. So, how bad does the dumpster smell in the summer? So, it's 40 degrees in here all the time. So my dumpster never smells. Now the dumpster, the compressor, the one for the store, that bitch stinks, all right? I've got the best meat for real. Debatable. I've got some pretty fine compliments myself from men and women. Get your head out of the gutter. I'm talking about this meat. Come on. Where am I from? I'm in the Twin Falls area. Where I'm working is in Filer. The only grocery store in Filer. Exactly, a lot of grocery stores don't even cut meat in-house anymore. You have Fred Meyer, who doesn't cut pork or chicken. The only thing that they cut is beef. But Fred Meyer also doesn't make their own ground beef. Their ground beef is made off-site. I make ground beef on-site. I cut meat fresh daily. I cut pork fresh. If we're being honest, if you guys want good quality meat, the small little grocery stores in your towns, the small locally owned, like the mom and pop shops, those are the best places to go to really buy your meat, if we're being honest. It might be a little bit more because they don't get to do the whole bulk buying thing for a corporate company. So you don't have a warehouse or something that they to go and buy bulk from to set it in. So they're just ordering as they need it. So they get charged just a little bit more. So their prices can't be as low as Walmart, Costco, Winco, Albertsons. But when you get into the small local stores, the quality is better. Borny, thanks for the follow. Safeway still cuts all fresh meat. Okay. Mountain Home ain't got one. Really? Mountain Home doesn't have a little small grocery store? That's wild. Whatever rich family lives there and they don't have a grocery store, that is a missed opportunity. That's all I'm saying. Bum. Pugs, not rugs. David, thanks for the follow. I've gotten Albertsons and Walmart. Don't buy your meat from Walmart. Walmart does not cut meat on site. Everything gets cut off site, gets gassed with the preservative gas. So by the time this steak gets to Walmart, this is already 2 to 3 days old. Maybe more likely 2 days old, probably not 3. But by the time it's been out on the counter for 7 days, it's like a 10-day-old steak. Do not buy meat from Walmart. Unless, you're starving. There's nowhere else to go. Unless it's like a 2-hour drive, then by all means, Walmart. But I feel sorry for you. What about Ralph's? I've never heard of Ralph's. Put my liquor store out fresh meat, but to pick and choose. Your setup looks like an Albertsons Safeway. Not Albertsons or Safeway. You can literally look up Filer grocery store, and it's the only grocery store in Filer. I don't work for Albertsons. I don't work for Smith's. Don't work for Winco. Don't work for Safeway. Kroger, okay. Ralph's, gotcha. I'm in Indiana. Dillon's, I've never heard of a Dillon's either. Fries, never heard of Fries. Looking to go live, just haven't gotten the followers yet. Small local owned? Hell yeah, go shop there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put about, when they're smaller, they get about 9 steaks in a package. For Carne asada, when you're a little bit bigger, anywhere from 6 to 7. Rachel with the heart. I send you a heart you back. Thank you. Market Basket Head? No clue. A lot of chains that I've never heard of. Debbie with the rose. Thank you, Debbie. What's up, Lucky? Heather, thanks for the follow. Heather 44 specifically. Piggly Wiggly, I've heard of it. I think. I don't know if it's a store or what, but I've heard of Piggly Wiggly somewhere. Costco meat, basically the same meat we get is Costco meat. Costco might get a little bit, might deal with like a Prime and just Choice. I'm just Choice, but Southern stores, okay. King Saber, what's King Saber? Maybe I get some work done if I pay attention to my job. Well, my counter's pretty much full. Sirloin tip is going to fill up. Sirloin tip will fill up the sirloin tip spot. There's a tri-tip roast out there, so this is just filling it up even more so someone did buy it. Tri-tip's full. I don't really know what you're after me for. You know, I have like 4 more hours to be here, and I have very much not to do. Get off my ass. John Clark, Ryan Burnett, thanks for the follow. Don't pay attention to hateful people. I don't try to. I just look down. It's the first thing that I see. So I'm stubborn, and my brain's just like, fuck you, man. I gotta say. I have to reply. Lucky Raymond, thanks for the follow. When am I cutting? This is a flat for some carne asada. As you can see, this tail end is kind of a little thin. So depending on when we get down to this roast, no, we're good. I cut it off enough. Eggs for breakfast. Sirloin tip. Sirloin tip or top sirloin's a good steak and egg steak. Sirloin tip or top sirloin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then we're just gonna cut this. Those are big roasts. They'll sell. Old ladies love these. Older women, they love these rump roasts. I don't know what they do with them. Mike, thanks for the roast. I really don't know what they do with rump roasts. I don't know if they put them in a crock pot. I don't know if they put them in the oven. I don't know if they cut them down to like stir fry or what they do. But I swear, older ladies come into the grocery store to either buy a rump roast or a chuck roast. And they don't care on the sizes either. Crock beef and noodles, gotcha. Yeah, I swear, like every time like a middle-aged person like my age comes in for a chuck roast, they're always like, I need like a 2-pounder. No, you'll get this 80-year-old lady in here pushing her cart. She'll be like, can I get a 7-pound chuck roast? Of course you can. Is that what the UK call a silver side of beef? Silver side is normally like, when you look at the steak and you kind of see this like silver skin, that's what the silver side is. So sirloin tip silver side normally has that silver skin on it. What are my daily sales? It's been very, very, very slow here. It ranges from anywhere from 1,500 a day to 2,200 a day. Busiest I've had it is about 3,200 a day. But this is just a small little grocery store. So when I have people coming at me, working too slow, I'm working at the pace for this store, trust me. I do what I can do for my hours. If you've been here from the beginning, you used to see that I'd go live for 2.5, 3 hours, and I'd be cutting like a goddamn madman. Madman, okay? Not bad for low volumes. It's not that bad. Because you're working towards working on goals, exactly. You didn't miss anything, Mom. My grandma moves at the end of the month. Trying to decide if I want to go surprise her or not to help with it. She's having movers come and help her move or whatever, but might go and surprise my grandma. Hey, anything for aging? We don't do any aging here, unfortunately. Don't got the right aging stuff for that. I make beautiful cuts. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just gonna go through here and make this into some stew meat with a little bit of extra pieces we've had. Appreciate all the new subscribers on YouTube. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot y'all. I forgot. We've been busy over on the TikTok. I'm so sorry. Why are you throwing away the dog food? It's not dog food. It's literally just fat and scraps that I can't use on anything else. I'm so sorry that I forgot about y'all, YouTube. Hello, Joyful. Hello, Archer. Brian, you're in Chicago. This does not look live, and it is live. I'm sorry. When I was in Tennessee, I always go to the farm. Everything custom cuts. Nice. Yeah, I'm also live on TikTok. Everyone over on YouTube, I'm sorry. I was looking over there, and for like a solid 20 minutes, last comment was I just subscribed, and so every time I kept looking over there, that was the last thing. So I just got a little bit distracted with the TikTok. I'm sorry. I love you too, I promise. New York strip loin, $8.99 a pound this week. It is select. It's what I have left over from Christmas, but these were middle of December when I got these with the pack date. So these are still got about another week to them. I got a couple boxes. $5.99 a pound whole. $8.99 a pound for some steaks. A bitchin' deal, all right? What part of Indiana? I live in Idaho. So do you YouTube and TikTok on one device while you're working? Yeah, I have one phone on YouTube and then I have one phone on TikTok right now. I will say the one phone on YouTube had a little bit less of a battery life, so pretty sure we're still going strong over there with battery life, so we're good. Aoki dokie. Minnesota, MN, that's Minnesota, right? I miss the mountains. Provide Chinese phone number. It's a choice to select. This is select, but it's going to be I can feel it. I can just feel the meat. It's going to have some pretty good marbling. I can feel it. You can just tell. I subscribe. Thank you, Raya Burnett. What part of Idaho? I live in Twin Falls, but I work in Filer. I did see someone comment store name. I'm not going to just go out there and say yes, but like I said, it's the only store in Filer. So if that's the store that popped up, then yes. All I'm throwing away, these have little bits of bone in it. Not this piece right here. This one's all good, but it's on top of this fatty piece right here that I don't need. So I'm gonna take that out, and then take this meat out right here. I trim up my New York's a little bit different than probably most people. I know that there's itty bitty pieces of bone in it, so I nitpick at this whole belly piece. There's people who just trim it all, put it in the trim bucket, and that's that. I don't want no one going to bite into their hamburger, or their spaghetti, or their taco from the hamburger meat, and get a little piece of bone jammed in between their teeth or in their gums or the roof of their mouth. Don't need that. So I'm very observant as I'm cutting meat to make sure that no bone goes into my trim bucket. Very observant. You use the trim for burger? Yep, everything in here will get made into 80-20. Just small packages this week for 80-20 though. I have 85-15 on sale for $4.99 a pound. I'll have that out tomorrow when it comes in. They didn't send me a couple things in my freight on Monday. They didn't send me my Ive round, and they didn't send me my ground beef. It's like, what am I? Just forgotten? Like, God, everyone forgets about me. Nate, thanks for the follow. That's good burger. It is really good burger. Danny, Steph, thanks for the follow. We're just gonna go along this belly now. We're just gonna take all this out. sure a lot of y'all are asking why take that out. At one point there was a bone. The bone was resting on here. And meat, when there's normally a bone right on the other side of it, when you debone it, that meat tries to turn a little bit quicker. It tends to turn a little bit quicker. So when I take off that top layer of this, everything the bone was touching is now gone. And now it's just a fresh layer of meat. And now I don't have to worry about the steak turning a little bit quicker on the belly and me having to reduce it before it goes fully bad, because people aren't going to want to buy it when it starts to change a little bit of color at full price. You get what I'm laying down? Say, thanks for the share and the follow. Talaria, thanks for the follow. I'm in Idaho. If I've somehow missed gifts, so sorry. I try my best to pay attention and catch all the gifts, but again, I am at work, so I do have to have a little bit of attention paid down to my fingers, so I do keep all 10 of my digits. It's not something we want to go down on. I do like having 10 of these. I don't want to be missing one. But if I've missed a gift somehow, I slap my meat to you and I appreciate you. And thank you all for those I just saw like 10 new followers. Thank you all for the follows. Wow. Have I ever cut my finger? No, but I've cut my arm. Straight up. This is not a knife. This is steel. I can't do anything, but I was all trimming. I got caught on a thick piece of fat that was frozen. Put a little bit of extra pressure on it, and it went bam! Just bam! I was like, yeah, I'm bleeding. But haven't had that happen in 5 years, so we good. We Gucci. From Mo. Is that Mo? What's is that Montana? Rachel, hello. Bro's a pro. You sure do get used to the cold sometimes, yes. Missouri, okay. All right, so as you can see, this is like a tendon type of thing. It's super chewy. I come off the front of this New York strip that I just kind of faced off. I'm gonna be taking that little piece off of every steak. Some people think that's a little too extra, but you can't eat that piece. There's people, I've bought a steak at a restaurant in New York Steak, and I do remember having one piece that was just chewy. It was like fucking meat gum. It's because it's this piece right here. That's just chewy. And also, look at that marbling. It's not that bad right now. We're gonna go start cutting these into our New York steaks. How do I know how thin I have to cut it? It's just years of experience, I guess. If I'm cutting normal, I'm just gonna cut a normal size thickness. I'm gonna use that as an individual steak because that is lopsided as shit. That's why I don't like cutting this way. I don't understand how people do it that way. I like it, but I don't like it because it cuts it fucking lopsided as shit. Sorry, I gotta square this up. I tried something and it didn't work. It just didn't work. I'm sorry. It happens. You try something and it don't work, it fucking happens. Tim, thanks for the follow. That's why I like cutting this way. I just feel like I can see a better line. Everywhere that I've seen people cutting ribeyes, New Yorks, they like cutting them this way. So I tried it, and I feel like the last couple of times I've tried it, it wedges them. I don't know why. I look at it, I'm looking at this and it looks wedged. From my perspective, this looks wedged, but then I flip it over, That bitch looks straighter than a... Looks... I can't find an analogy. That thing just looks straight. It looks as straight as a line, alright? And then you flip it over and it just doesn't. I just don't understand it. Again, we're going to be taking that off of every piece. You don't want that on your steak. That is a waste of money. In my opinion, that's a waste of money. Mary, thanks for the flower for the rose. Appreciate it. Pretty decent New York. Not the best marbling, but it's not the worst either. I've seen worse. Let's see a cut strip. Nice thick steak. New York ribeye. I'm a ribeye guy all day. I will choose a ribeye 10 out of 10 times over a New York. 10 out of 10 times. You can be all Team Jacob, Team Edward, all you want, but when it comes to Team Ribeye and Team New York, there's only one right answer. And the right answer is ribeye. Am I single? I am single. Why what? Why is there only one right answer? Because ribeye is the best cut. People who choose New Yorks over ribeyes, their two reasons are: one, New York is better than ribeye, which is complete horseshit, and two, I don't like all the fat on a ribeye. Okay, you're uncultured. Oh, okay, go eat some jerky then. Okay. Why am I single? Because the women here in Twin Falls suck. Cheated on my ex-wife, cheated on by like 2 other situationships, girlfriends that I've had. I fully believe my love of my life don't even live in Idaho. How does one get a job like this? Just go into your meat department and ask if they're hiring. If they need a meat cutter, chances are they're usually looking for a meat cutter to hire. But if they're really, really desperate need, they'll teach you how to cut meat. But usually you're a meat wrapper and a meat cleaner. That means you clean up the shop and you wrap all the steaks and everything. And after a while, you work your way up. Good looking steaks, they don't look too bad, do they? McKenna wants me. Does McKenna live in Idaho? Any meat glue? Who? Okay. I'm gonna debunk like 5 theories right here. 1, there's no fucking glue to glue meat together. That's absolute horse shit. 2, there's no red dye that I just inject this shit with the dye with, alright? There's no water that I make it heavier with, alright? There's 3 bullshit fucking things right there that people always seem to think is true. No one dyes meat, no one injects it with water, and there's no meat glue. Can you just like ask yourself these questions before you ask them? Like just speak them out loud. Hey, is there any meat glue on that? What? Hey, do you put red dye on that meat? What? Can you just like think? The water makes sense, the water doesn't make sense. After ribeye, it's picanha for me. After ribeye is also picanha for me. You won't see me grab a New York, and you won't see me grab a tenderloin after ribeye. It's picanha every time. What? What? That one? What's this most expensive steak I cut here? Ribeye. Ribeye, 100%. I do not get free steaks for working here, which I think is bullshit. See, if I ever own my own meat shop, if I ever get to owning my own meat shop, you bet your ass I'm gonna hook my employees up. You bet your ass. I'm hoping some of the live streaming thing is still a thing too, because I'll be doing giveaways too. Incognito, thanks for the rose. Yep, I don't even if this steak doesn't sell today and it's going to get thrown away tomorrow, I can't take it home. Like, even if I legit just knew 100% fact that this package, like, hey, if I mark this package of steaks down to $8.99, I still know for a fact it's not going to sell, I don't get to take it home. Nice cuts, bros. Filet, good. Filet is good. I just think it is overrated. Like 9 times out of 10, you go to a restaurant. Like, I will say, like, literally, I'm 3 for 4 on ordering a filet mignon no, 2 for 3 on ordering a filet mignon from a restaurant. 2 out of 3 times that bitch is raw. I asked for medium rare, and when I cut into it, okay, it was blue rare. More rare than I like. And I look at the waiter, waitress, and I'm just like, this isn't medium rare. You want to know what she looks at me and says? This is how the chef prepares it, so that's how you gotta eat it. I'm sorry, what? Cassie, thanks for the corn. So, I'm just over it. If you want me to spend $35 on a steak and I can't tell you how I want it cooked, I've had one place that it was just to die for, and that was at the Star Restaurant in Elko, Nevada. It is a Basque restaurant. Bascos know how to cook. We are king, all right? Let's give me the money. We know how to cook. And the Star Restaurant is proof. Porterhouse is a waste of money. Just buy a ribeye. Kaysen, thanks for the follow. Hello, how's it going, Dennis? Where am I now? I am in Filer, Idaho, cutting meat. She said, come see her. Okay, you're gonna have to message me on somewhere. I can't just keep... Where are we at? Where are we at? Come visit me in Florida. I might actually have to go down there, chat. Florida, come on. Message me, all right? Message me. Which kind of beef gives you the most bang for your buck? Ribeye. Ribeye is just the best cut. It has... I really wish it, like... So down here, this is where a ribeye would connect onto the so you're going down a cow, the head, the chest, the ribs, right? The chest, the chuck roll connects into the ribeye. So when you separate the chuck roll from the ribeye, you're cutting it right off at that neck point, basically, right? Like right before the ribs. And then you're going through, and then halfway through this rib section, you go from ribeye to New York. So you cut that, now you have a ribeye up here and your New York down here. So your ribeye normally gets this cap of meat that sits up on top right here. That is the most tender, most flavorful, most juicy piece of meat you will find on the cow. Presentation is where it's at in the meat counter, exactly. I'm always cutting everything to where it looks chef's kiss out on the counter, right? You think I'm overcutting? I'm not overcutting. It's my presentation. You think I'm overcutting? You come apply here and you see if my boss chooses you to be a manager over me. Guarantee you he don't. Where is the prime rib at, or is the different? So prime rib is just the grade of meat. Your ribeye is always going to be right here. Your New York's always going to be right here. Select just means there's not that much marbling, which is the fat and the intermuscular fat throughout the steak. Choice, you normally get a pretty decent amount of marbling. See that? This is choice. This is select. Not that much in there, right? So select has really no fat to it. Choice is what the normal standard is. That's what most grocery stores carry, is choice. And then prime, that's really good meat. That has a lot of fat in it, has a little bit better diet. It was just fed differently to get a different end result, right? Sorry, YouTube. I know I'm cutting off of camera right now. I got I need to situate this table a little bit better over here, right? I want choice or better, exactly. Now, I will say every now and then, in the past, while I'm cutting up a select piece of meat, the marbling on it, I would swear it's prime. I'd swear up and down the bitch is prime, all right? I'm taking that piece home. For select price, I'm taking that piece home. Also like to take my time too when I'm here live, especially when I don't have much to do today. Kind of lets me hang out, goof off a little bit, get my hours, but at the same time, it lets me kind of go into a little bit more depth with the education on the meat, right? So I'm really over here cutting these New Yorks today, 4 family packs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 family packs, 3 smalls. That sounds perfect to me. We got family pack on sale for $8.99 a pound. $8.99 a pound for 2 or more steaks in a package. And then say you want the whole goddamn thing, $5.99 a pound. $5.99 a pound. How much do they pay you? I would like a little bit more, but as far as pay goes, it's the most I've ever been paid to cut meat. So, I just say I'd like more because I'm a single dad. Being a single parent in today's world, especially with 2 kids, car payment, bills, food, it's a lot, you know? So if you're not making like $32 an hour as a single parent, you're kind of struggling in my opinion. And I'm not making $32 an hour. Adam, thanks for the follow. Hold on. Come to Florida, meat cutters get paid well here. I have 2 kids here, so I can't just move down to Florida, unfortunately. But I'd love to come and visit. Who taught me how to cut meat? I don't want to specifically say his name just because, you know, don't know how internet reacts with that. But the guy who taught me how to cut meat, dude is an absolute unit of a meat cutter. Absolute unit. He's at a special cut store. He does a lot of like deer, elk, cows for people, pigs for people. This last hunting season, I think he was saying they were doing like 50 deer a week, and him himself was doing half of those deer while doing other shit too. The dude's an absolute unit. he told me, because he knows how I cut, it's a very small package of stew meat. Well, I guess that's the package of stew meat they gave. It's not my fault. AFS forgot to send me eye rounds. I don't have extra meat to just cut stuff with. Do your thing. Lily, thanks for the share. Words of love, how? Christian, thanks for the follow. Trent, thanks for the follow. Do you do venison on the side? I'd love to do venison on the side, but I kind of need to learn how to do the whole breakdown. I grew up hunting, but my stepdad didn't know how to do the whole breakdown on a deer, right? So we always took it to a guy down the road who had a cooler, who hung it and did all that. Who my mom's married to now. He quarters it out on the mountain and he packs it out and then he gets home and then he finishes the whole cutting it up thing. So I'm just waiting to be able to fill my own tag, which I'm hoping to do this year, and then I'll be able to actually start doing stuff when I'm able to. Cristo, thanks for the corn. Where am I going after TikTok? YouTube. So if y'all ain't subscribed to me on the YouTube, make sure you go and subscribe over on the YouTube. I'm live there right now. So when TikTok disappears, the place I'll be going live is YouTube. Rachel, thanks for the roses. Yes, these are boneless pork sirloin. We're gonna be making this into some sirloin chops. We have sirloin chops on sale this week for $1.99 a pound. So, it's because everyone wants to yell at me, I swear I get treated like a cartman when I go from pork to beef, or from beef to pork. Everyone is, oh my God, he's cross-contaminated. He's cross-contaminated. Pork gets cooked at a higher temperature than beef, so you can cut pork where you've cut beef. Now, if I started with pork and then I needed to cut beef, I couldn't do that because beef gets cooked at a lower temp than pork. So all this pork juice would be on my beef, and it wouldn't be getting cooked to a good enough temperature. So, Nameless and Kenzie, thanks for the follow. Still cross-contamination. Well, if you cannot eat beef, I wouldn't just be going into a goddamn meat department and grabbing a package of beef off the counter, or pork off the counter. I would go up to your meat cutter and I would tell them, I have some food allergies. Has your pork been cut where you've cut beef? 9 times out of the 10, the motherfucker's gonna say yes. Every meat cutter cuts that way. So you need to go and tell them, okay, I need some pork that wasn't cut on a beef table. Can you cut me some pork on a clean table? And you know what he's gonna say? I can do that for you. You don't want raw ground beef. That carries E. coli. Raw ground beef carries E. coli. If you want a raw piece of meat, grab a piece of ribeye before you cook it. Cut a small little piece off and eat it that way. That's what I recommend. What's its gender? Food. Only if your grinders aren't clean. Nope. That is false. That is false. Raw meat can be eaten. Like raw beef can be eaten, but it needs to be the higher grades of the meat. So ribeye, filet mignon, maybe New York. It's usually just the filet mignon and the ribeye that can pass though for normal people. Now, when you get into your smaller grades, you know, your sirloin, your eye around, your flat, you know, it's not as good as quality. You're gonna have, you know, you have more connective tissue in those areas. So that's where the E. coli comes from. It comes from the less high quality meats. What about Wagyu? I really don't know. I know that there's a lot of fat in that Wagyu, so I wouldn't recommend eating raw Wagyu. That might just be me. I wouldn't recommend it. Get back to work, I'll tell your boss. Well, one of the reasons why I go live on Wednesdays is because there is no big boss in the store. And two, I am the boss of my meat department, so what's up? Boss! Boss! Yes. They're saying that I'm wasting my time. I don't see you wasting any time. They saying I'm wasting time and they needed to tell you. I don't see nothing wrong going on here, son. Just get back to work. I'm gonna wash my hands because I had to do a little skit and I was touching my hands. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. My daughter. Happy birthday to you. Is it the ABCs or the birthday they tell you to say? Which one is it? You're supposed to sing the ABCs or is it happy birthday when you're walking? Anyone? Oh, it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? I get mixed up. All I know is that water is very hot. And that is that. Daryl, thanks for the follow. Spit on it? I don't know if they'd like me to spit on this meat. Not really the meat to spit on. Ugh. Usually spit on me if you're having a problem getting it into a certain area. I don't think we need to spit on. I'm not having no problem getting this meat anywhere. It's going where its meat's supposed to go. YouTube. Someone on YouTube said spit on it. They said spit on it, slap it around. Bro, quit messing with it and spit on it. Jerk that meat, slap it around. All right, I'll subscribe. Thanks for the subscription. I used to be a meat wrapper. How'd you like it? Appreciate you all for the subscribers, the new follows. If I've missed a gift, I try my best to not miss any because I really do try to not miss a gift, but I get paid decent. But if I've missed a gift, I just wanted to send out my most heartfelt thank you and I appreciate you. And I'll slap my meat for you. I got pork juice going everywhere. Trimmings of pork that are too small, well, I'll set them off to the side. And if I can do anything with them later, I will. Most stores will go and grind it down into sausage, but I actually don't really cut that much pork or generate that much pork trimmings to make sausage. So if I can't really do anything with it, I throw it away. So I try to make sure that I can use it. How do I apply for something like this? Just go into your local meat shop, your local grocery store, your meat department, and ask if they are hiring. If they are hiring for a meat wrapper or cleaner, meat shop cleaner, that's normally where you start. But if they are hiring for a meat cutter and they are in desperate need for a meat cutter, they might train you. Crash out, Mr. Wake. I couldn't finish that. Thanks for the follow. Rachel, thanks for the share. Give me some lobsters, bud. Nah, lobsters are too expensive. I think we had lobster tails on sale the other week, like for New Year's, I think. And I didn't even bring it in because a box was like $600. I was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not getting that charge, bro. I'm not getting that charge. I already have a bunch of ribeyes in New York and hams that didn't sell, so I didn't need another big high dollar charge on my numbers. Pork cutlets are good. I don't really eat pork, so if I'm gonna eat pork, I like shredded pork. I like pulled pork. That's what I really like. Am I bored? Be real? No, I actually have a real... Going live makes this 1,000 times better. What pieces am I cutting up now? These are pork sirloin chops, boneless pork sirloin chops. I really hate when these roasts are super small. I normally just make this into a sirloin roast, but I have some pork picnic roasts out on my counter that I'm trying to get rid of, that I normally put a boneless pork spot in. So we're just gonna do a bunch of sirloin chops for today. And then tomorrow, if the picnic roast is sold, then I'll put out a whole bag of these for $1.59, and then roasts out for $1.79 a pound. So a whole bag of this for $1.59 a pound with some pork. How is pork sirloin different from pork chops? It's the same thing on as New York and ribeyes, right? When you have a whole pork loin, which is a whole, the side rib cage, as you're going down, you have your normal pork loin chops, and then as you go down, it gets into your pork sirloin. So the sirloin is more towards the ass end of the cow. Usually a little bit more juicier, in my opinion. I cut a lot of pork loin chops, and they seem to always be dry, in my opinion. But in my opinion, pork is just dry too, so that's why I'm more of a beef meat eater. It's just juicier, better taste. Where do I work at? I work in Filer, Idaho. Only grocery store here. So if you're in the Twin Falls area, Buell, Wendell, Burley, Kimberly, Twin Falls. Y'all need some meat, I'm the guy to come to. And then this is going to be the last package right here, and then we're going to go and wrap all this meat. Oh, and I was just going to go and wrap this meat? Well, yeah, I'm going to go wrap my meat. I mean, you don't got to take no meat wrapping tips from me. I had 2 kids, so obviously some meat's not getting wrapped. But, no, I'm just kidding. Both my kids are planned. Both of them are planned, all right? So I know how to wrap my meat. Favorite cut of beef would be ribeye. All right, I hate trying to grab both these phones. All right. All right. I think that works. We like that? YouTube, TikTok, we like that? Take this off now that I'm done cutting meat for the day. Don't eat this. What about for cleaning? I don't spray myself for cleaning. Like, come on. I mean, I have dropped the handle a couple times, you know, just gonna drop it to the floor, and then it lands right on the handle, and then I do get sprayed in the face. It's happened a couple times, and it's really hot water straight to the face, but it's literally something you wish you would have been recording for, because it's like you're shitting me, right? Wendy, thanks for the follow. I'll give him more babies. McKenna, message me. Oh, she did. Oh. Oh. No, I actually have a buddy down in the Florida area. He's been trying to get me to come down there. So 2 reasons to go down there. I think that's legit reason to go to Florida. Air frying is the better way forward. Don't air fry a steak. Do not air fry a steak. It does not give you the same result. I promise you. You can cook it, yes. It might come out tasty, yes, but it's not going to be tender. It does not come out tender. New US TikTok dating app? Yeah, screw it. We don't need TikTok for viral videos. We need it for dating. Where's the national security in that? Just dating, right? We have plenty of people already coming in for just getting married to get a green card, right? Like, I feel like just dating on an app is less of a risk than that. It does. I've done it. It's so tender. I've done it too. It is not tender. I told myself I'd never do it again. Oh my God. Where are we going with this chat? Going from a dating app to BBC? Like what? Chat is wild. Then you're doing it wrong because it is tender. Well, I smoke my meat, so I might just be more nitpicky about it because it's not as tender as me smoking it. Not going to from you cutting meat. What? I do want to say I'm going to be live on Twitch later when I do get home. I'm going to be playing a little bit of Rainbow Six. Maybe some Fortnite. Oh, I do got to play some Fortnite. Someone wants to 1v1 me. I got a full box, full piece, controlled, edited, 200 pump. I got a 200 pump this kid. Sorry, they're going to go crying to your mom after. I just want you to know that. All right? How do you not get in trouble from going slow and wasting time? Because I still have 3.5 hours that I'm supposed to be here, and this is all I had to do. I have no ordering to do today. I ordered yesterday because we get freight tomorrow. I already filled my chicken. I put out back stock. I've reduced everything that needs to be reduced. I've faced the wall deli, brought all my sausage and bacon and hot dogs, faced all that, the cheese, the meat, faced all that. Brought out Falls brand sausage, filled that. Just got done cutting all this meat, so now I'm wrapping it, and then I gotta clean up. And when I'm done cleaning up, I'm gonna guess it's only going to be maybe 2. I'm gonna best guess 1:30. I'm gonna best guess 1:30 is when I'll be done cleaning up, and I still got 2.5 hours to work. Kaz, be nice to my man. Kaz is just jealous. He probably got in trouble for trying to do TikTok at work, so he's not allowed to. Probably because he was making his job dramatically slower. This doesn't impede my job at all. I'm a manager, and I would definitely have a problem with this while I'm a manager. Now, I don't care if you'd have a problem with it because you don't work here. I'm an army of one. I wrap, I cut, I order, I clean, I inventory. I put back stock out. I fill my trays. I make burger. I like this guy. It's interesting just noticing the waste. There's no waste. I'm getting my hours. If I came to work for a $700 paycheck a week or every 2 weeks, I wouldn't be working here. I can get in and out in 3 hours a day. But I get my money, I make my hours, and I hit my numbers. See, now if I was working in a shop that had 5 people in it, I'd be blowing through everything. It's funny how people just hop in and they just want to, hey, this dude's going slow. Congrats. It's a slow day. Wednesdays are the slowest days for me. It's why I go live on Wednesdays. Total sales for the week. The last couple weeks, like I said, it's been super, super slow. So I've been at about 12,500 for sales a week. With 6,000 purchases, 5,000 purchases. So I'm hitting double my numbers from purchases to sales. Which is great. It is slow. I'm not saying it's not slow. It's a small shop. I would prefer much bigger and much faster. It's not happening. Switch my shop was easier to do this. Maraz, by the way, thanks for the follow. Yeah, so I used to do, like when I first got put into management position, I was doing 7 days in a week. I was doing anywhere from $33,000 to $42,000 a week by myself for 6 whole straight months. I was the only one in my shop with broken equipment, so I was coming into work early to drive to Jerome to use their grinder to make burger, to come back to my store to price it up and put it on my counter. I was doing trust me, me getting to lollygag, it's kind of a relief to me on some of these days because I have pretty much fucked my shoulder up for cutting meat. Like, I'm gonna have carpal tunnel in this thing probably dramatically sooner than anyone else. Army of one for 6 years in the meat department. It's a lot of work. $100K a week, it is definitely brutal. I came from about 80 to 90 a week, is I think is what we did. Like, we weren't just cutting a couple pieces of meat out of a box. We were grabbing a whole box and a half of sirloin tip, or a whole box of chuck roll, or, you know, like a day type of thing. What is my gross margin? I go for about end of the quarter, I need to be sitting at about 20. I need to have a 20% increase of purchases to sales. But for what's going out into my counter, it sits at about 30. Now, why doesn't it hit 30? Well, you see, you got shrink, you got stuff that goes on sale, so it's not hitting the 30%. You have stuff that comes in that goes on sale that you're literally just breaking even on. So hitting that 30% for my counter helps me be able to hit that 20%. Fucking bullshit. Yeah, so like I have, like, what's a good example? Drumsticks and thighs. I have chicken drumsticks and thighs on sale for $1.49 a pound this week. I want to say I got those in for like $1.30. So I'm making like 19 cents a pound on chicken. If you were just doing that with all your meat, you wouldn't be hitting anywhere. So you have to have some stuff that is marked up to help bring the other stuff up. So I'm just needing to make the 20, but I'm selling stuff at normally about 30%. I don't throw that much away. I really, really, really don't. Like the video that I posted where someone was saying I have a big old cart of back stock. Most of that cart was ground beef. Ground beef's normally a #1 seller in a meat department. And when it comes to just regular back stock, I pretty much cut for the day with a little bit to get through the day. You know, you've been in one spot for over a year, you pick up kind of like how the store rolls, you know what I mean? Oh, ground beef's on sale for $3.99 a pound this week. People are gonna pile the fuck in. Let's make extra ground beef. Drumsticks and thighs are on sale for 99 cents a pound. People are gonna pile in to look for the chicken. Keep a good stock on other beef stuff that's on sale. You know, I have top sirloin on sale for $7.99 a pound this week. That's a manager special. I could probably cut one every 2 days for top sirloin type of thing. You know, it's just, you've been doing it for a while, excuse me. Better out than in, as I always say. Hey, don't get. Make the cattle industry great again, make it cheap again. They're overcharging for no reason. Got to put a limit on the chicken? Nah. Because then people just come bitch and moan. Rick, thanks for the follow. Bacon we normally do like a limit with. Like I had like there was a, what's the word? Best quality yet most affordable cut of steak. Shit. My brain's everywhere. I just did like 5 questions and I don't know why. I didn't answer any of them. I'm gonna answer the bomb one real quick. What's the best quality and most affordable cut of steak? Top sirloin. If you're trying to buy a good cut of steak for your family to cook, top sirloin's a pretty good one. Chuck eye is also another really good one, but that's just a single steak, and you only get about 2, maybe 3 chuck eyes off of a chuck roll. So you're not gonna find an unlimited supply of chuck eyes, whereas if you would with your top sirloin or your sirloin tip steak. Now, if you're trying to spend not like $18 a pound, but like the $10 a pound range, tri-tip's a good one. Hype girl. I do want to apologize. My brain does go a little bit haywire sometimes. I'm a people pleaser, so I think I can read like 5 comments, mention every single one, and then try and go and answer them, and then I forget what the first 4 are, and then I've already mentioned them, but then I forget what the questions were. So I'm sorry. I do get a little bit of a chihuahua out sometimes. They're overcharging because of Biden. Yeah, I know that. There's really no reason for price of meat to be. Ooh, we might be lagging. Are we lagging? Are we good? We good? Hi, McKenna. We good? I'm orange. Are we good? Okay, we're back to green. It really does make no sense for the price of beef to be. Oh, I forgot to switch. For the price of beef to be as high as it is, because feed hasn't really changed. I want to say it's just gas. So the amount it costs to get the cow from point A to point B, and then from point B to point C to get to the finished result of point D. And then I want to say maybe what's going on here? What did I do? Oh, chuck tender. I don't know why I thought I kept these on sale. Okay. $6.39 last week. We'll do $6.69. But it's really just the people that are up in charge right now. They're just doing whatever they can to make anything just a pain in the ass for us all. Because there's no reason for chicken prices to not be getting affected at all, but beef prices do get affected. Pork isn't really affected, but beef's affected. It doesn't really make sense. If one animal is getting affected, shouldn't all of them get affected, you know? Sorry, money is, my brain is just everywhere right now. I'm sorry. Liberal regulations period, gas, tax rules, inflation, limiting, is that everything liberal equals equal. Gotcha. I really don't get told anything. It's just more me trying to figure it out myself to be able to go around and explain it. I just know from my standpoint, I do know that there's really no reason for it to be through the roof. There's no reason. Like, you're telling me a choice ribeye, I have to charge $19.99 a pound? That's raw. It's not even cooked. I want A5 Wagyu right now. That shit's busting. Michaela, you still here? Man, in Michigan, they just passed a law that eggs need to be cage-free, and now a dozen eggs over 5. Go buy your own chickens. Just go buy your own chickens. I've never heard of crowd cow. I've heard of American Wagyu from Imperial, though. I'm getting cold. I'm actually getting cold. because it's 38 in here now. It's not 40, it's 38. Ethan with the tiny diny, the 3 tiny dinies, 4 tiny dinies, 5. Let's go. Thank you, Ethan. See, 3 steaks right here. Let's take a guess. Oh my God, Ethan with the chilies, the 6, 7 chili, 8, 9. Let's take a guess right here, chat. 3 steaks, $6.69 a pound, $17.53. It is $17.59. No shit. $17.59. $17.59. That is wild. I should go play the lottery. Go play some Keno. Ashley, thanks for the share. I'm kind of cheating though because I kind of do this every day, so I kind of got a knack for it. Oh my God, the hand hearts. Ethan, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, sorry I had to step away for work for a minute. Oh, you're all good. You're all good. 14.23. 13.65. Is anyone else who like has to do pricing on anything? If you ever get like 17.38, do you ever go 17.38? We ever do some Fetty Wap type of shit or what? As soon as I see the 17.30, that's all I think about. 17.38. Yeah. Anyone is scared that TikTok's gonna lose, get kicked out, banned, make sure to follow me on the YouTube and subscribe. I am still on there. You can't kick me off of YouTube. Only YouTube can kick me off of YouTube. YouTube likes my meat too much, don't it? How old am I? How old do I look? Hold on. What's your age preference? Because whatever your age preference is, that's what I am. $26, $35, $34, $34. I look old. I'm 28, guys. I look old. I might need to shave. 34A. I like older women. I prefer an older woman, all right? I appreciate the 26. It's the mustache. If I were to shave, I'd look like I'm 18. I'm not even shitting you. I'd probably look like I'm 18. I'm very scared whenever I go to trim up my mustache and my goatee that I'm gonna screw it up and I'm just gonna have to shave it. I'm terrified of that. So I'll look like a baby. I was going to say 30s. I'll take it. I'm almost there, I guess, you know. Just 2 years off. My birthday's in September. I'm 30, people say I look younger. Hey, that's good. Carne asada, I put on a price up at $6.99 a pound. It's pretty good Pretty good price for some carne asada. And that's why I use my flat. And that's so not, and that's not old. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't think 34 is old either. As yourself, you don't want to see yourself get to 30. When you're looking at it as an age yourself, 30 is old, but 30 to someone else, that's not old. Like, we just like to say we're getting old because fuck 30? I'm almost 30. I'm also kind of over 20, being 20 something though, because it ain't fun. I'm 18, but I look 25, 26 with my beard, but I shaved, I look 14. In high school, I was a 16-year-old. I know I'm like halfway to the grave. When I was like 15, sophomore year. 14. 15? 15? Sophomore? Yeah, that sounds right. 15, sophomore. I got caught out after curfew with some friends, and none of us had a driver's license, which was I wasn't aware. The person driving didn't have a driver's license, but we just got a warning. But the cop was like, "So how old's everyone in the car? You know, they're 17, 18, and I'm 15." You got this 15-year-old in the back who looks like he's 22. Shit, let me go to the bar, please, sir. I look like I'm 22. I'll take that. Fucking 15, that's exactly what you want to hear. Sophomores, 15, 16, gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, $12.72 for the most expensive package of carne asada we did today. A rump roast is $6.19 a pound. Now I'm gonna double wrap this package of meat. I know, guys, I know wrapping your meat twice does more damage than good. But we're not talking about that meat, okay? We're talking about this roast. Now this meat goes in your mouth. Well, I guess that meat can go in your mouth too. But this meat's edible. Well, I guess depending on who you are, you know, you might consider that thing a hot dog. Oh shit. We're just talking about the edible beef meat, okay? Stop while you're ahead. It just kept going. It just kept turning. They're just like, oh, you thought so, but it can still do that too. All right, I'm guessing like $22. $24. I like to eat meat. What would you say your favorite I saved myself from saying, all right. What would you say your favorite dishes? Like tacos or a burrito or just a steak with some mashed potatoes or sushi, fish. What would you say your favorite dish is? Chicken Parmesan. Ooh. I like ground beef and vegetables. I like steak, but don't look like a good cut for that. This, no, you just like stir fry or carne asada with this. Smoked beef, ooh, that's good. A good smash burger, that is also good. I don't like onions though, so leave the onions off the smash burger. Tell these lovely folks the other industry term for the fat cat. Fat cat. I don't know what you're talking about. I just know. Are you talking about like denuded? Whit Darko, thanks for the follow. A good steak, medium rare. I'll take it. I can tell you that if you have a fat cap and you take it off, you know, like our inside round, it comes with a big old piece of fat on top of it. If you depend on which inside round you order and from which brand, from which supplier, you might get a denuded inside round, and that just means that the fat's been taken off already. Missionary steak for me. Never heard of it. I'm half tempted not even to put this package of stew meat out. Peaches. Peaches. Oh. Do you have any jerseys? Do you have any jersey in the Channel Islands cow sticks? That's where I'm from. I don't think so. I'm all the way in Idaho. I don't think we get onion powder works. I'm so confused. I've subscribed also. Hey, thanks for the subscription. I think the ad says stew meat is on sale for $6.49 a pound. The guy in Gooding, he makes the company ad like for us, but he didn't move up to CAB beef, so he still has select meat. And so whenever whenever the newspaper, the ad has all the prices for the week in it, it's all stuff that he decided to do. I'm just like, bro, we're recommended to have stew meat at $6.59 a pound. What do you have your stew meat at a pound if you're going to be putting it on sale for $6.49 a pound? Are you like selling this shit for $7 something? $6.99? So that's not what you're supposed to be doing. With all the meat that I don't sell, I try and reduce it. And then if it doesn't sell by the time it goes bad, then yes, I do just throw it away. I do have a guy here in town that buys rotten meat for bear bait. I don't understand how he's constantly always buying rotten meat for bear bait, because it's not bear season, but I don't know, maybe he makes bear bait and then freezes it and pulls it out during hunting season. I don't know. But when I started here over a year ago, I was told that, hey, there's this guy. If you have rotten meat, he's like, don't throw it away, just put it in a box and sell it to this guy. I give him a box of meat for $15.99 a pound because it's rotten meat. It's not meat you would eat. So I make $16 on a box of rotten meat. Better than nothing. What's the difference between rib steaks and ribeye steaks? It's the same steak. A rib steak is a ribeye steak. How much a pound for what? Frank, how much a pound for what? These sirloin chops are $1.99 a pound on sale this week. Where are your gloves, brother? This is raw food. I don't need no gloves, brother. Don't need no raw gloves, brother. Twinkle, twinkle. I'm like halfway through it. Not worth it. I don't feel like singing it twice and standing here for extra time. Oh, YouTube glitching. Phone's dying. Sorry, YouTube. Raw meat, you don't need gloves. If I was cooking this and then getting ready to serve it to someone, I'd need gloves. This is raw. You're gonna cook it. All those germs I just slapped on that steak, it's all gonna cook right off. Why do you work there? The boss doesn't take good care of you. So most I've ever been paid as a meat cutter. Now I wouldn't say it doesn't take care of me. You know, I get quarterly bonuses, not anything dramatic or anything. I have to hit three extra things. It's $100 extra per thing. So I have a chance to get a $300 bonus every 4 months. But most places don't give you free steak. Most places don't really have good help in the first place. Not trying to shit on any other place, but and most places the rules suck. Like, I'm sorry, like I goof off. I do goof off. And I do go a little bit slow, but it's because I can do that. But if I was actually busy, you know, if I was where I originally was, when I first started cutting meat, I could do all this. I could cut meat and it'd be way quicker. So there's no reason for someone to say that you can't cut meat on TikTok while you're at work. Well, yeah, I'm at work, but people have to realize nowadays there's a hustle going on. Everyone is struggling. If you're not going to let me get my extra hustle on, make a little bit extra money, why would I want to work for you? I feel like that's more of a slap in the face than if your boss doesn't want to help you out type of thing, you know. If your boss doesn't want to let you go on TikTok when you're simply just doing your job, what's the problem? I will say, yes, I goof off with rapping and a little bit right now. But if I was pushing $7,000 a day, I would not be goofing off. I can promise you that. Tristan, it's Scorpio. Oh my God, did you change why'd you change your name? Watching me wrap my meat is oddly satisfying. I tend to do that. Cutting with gloves on is dangerous. Cutting with gloves is actually normal. I wouldn't say it's more dangerous. If your handle's getting slippery, that's your own fault for not just simply grabbing a rag and wiping it off. But no, you don't need gloves handling raw meat. I could literally go over there and I could be cutting meat, just my bare hands if I wanted to. But I like wearing gloves because one, meat is sticky. I don't like my hands being sticky. Can't even deal with my kids' hands being sticky. It is. I can't deal with sticky hands. I hate sticky hands. Two, meat is cold. A little bit of latex helps a little bit, but on my cutting hand, the one that I hold the meat with next to the knife, I have a cloth glove, and that's just to simply keep my hand warm. If you were ever following me on TikTok before I got here, you always saw me cut with no cutting glove. I never had a cutting glove on. Never. Now I do it because I was out of the meat department for a little over a year, so I lost my acclimation to being in a meat department. Now my hands just get super cold, so I like wearing my cloth glove. That's the reason for my cloth glove back here. But Michaela, I'm gonna check out your message. As for the rest of the chat, appreciate everyone for tuning in, YouTube and TikTok. If you ain't subscribed over on the YouTube, TikTok, make sure to go on over to the YouTube. Link is in my profile, or it's Tristan the Meat Man on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and turn those notifications on for when I do go live and post videos, because if somehow TikTok disappears, the place to find me is going to be on YouTube. I'll be going live, still there weekly, posting videos daily, weekly, shorts, long videos. My lives get posted to it as well, so if you miss a live, go to YouTube and my live is there. Appreciate all the subscribers, the new followers, the shares, everyone who tuned in and commented in the chat. Gifts, really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Really appreciate all the support. If I missed a gift, sorry I missed your gift. Didn't want to lose a digit. That being said, hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. I might be live tomorrow, and I might be live Friday. It just depends on how it goes back here, how sales go, if I need to cut meat tomorrow, if I don't need to cut meat tomorrow. Anyways, have a good rest of y'all's day. Me, man, out of here, and love y'all.